Hello everyone, and wow, it has been a while since the last part of the gear guide. Sorry about that, but we're back, and today we're going to be talking about the shoe exclusives. While there's only 3 abilities here, they're all actually really strong, so I'm pretty excited to go over these, as they're some of the best abilities in the game in my opinion, especially for those that are exclusive. But before we get started, you can be sure to subscribe, tune in to more content in the future, and let's get into the abilities. The first ability up is Drop Roller. Now, usually people know how the roll itself works, which is when you input a direction, you'll roll there upon your landing. However, one buff they gave to Drop Roller later in the game is that it actually affects your swim speed, run speed, and ink resistance for 3 seconds after you roll, giving 10 AP or 1 main's worth of every single ability. This can be pretty useful, especially for more mobile weapons. The ink resistance in particular is helpful in terms of preventing you from getting killed by MPU weapons after your roll, since it can help give you a bit more time before you take damage. The run and swim speed are just particularly useful for the aggressive weapons that want to run it. So on paper, it seems like a pretty good ability. And well, it is. It's a great buff that definitely helps secure a lot of your landings, making them a bit safer. However, Drop Roller competes pretty much directly with Stealth Jump, which is another main exclusive ability to shoes made to protect your landing. However, there's a bit of differences between the two. Stealth Jump hides your marker if you're around a T-Tex range or around 3 tiles on Inkblot Art Academy away from your opponent, as in completely hidden. You'd have to see the opponent jumping in from the sky in order to notice it, which makes it near impossible to camp in pretty much every situation. Stealth Jump is actually faded the further away you get from it, so even if you are in range to see it, it could be harder to because of it being more blurry. So whenever your opponents are farther away when they're jumping in, or you jumping far away from your opponents, it's a very safe protector. So for most of the good super jumps, it actually works perfectly, and is much better than Drop Roller. However, Drop Roller has 2 unique situations in which it has an advantage. Number 1 is obviously close range, since you can see the Stealth Jump marker anyway at that point, and Drop Roller gives you a better chance of survival, and number 2 is Inkjet weapons. The Inkjet marker is completely impossible to hide, however Drop Roller does work when you recall from your Inkjet. This is mostly the weapons where it'll be useful to run Drop Roller, though I don't recommend it for all Inkjet weapons, since Stealth Jump is the superior option since any safe jump should be able to be completely hidden, making it great for most jumps back into the battle. But for particular weapons like Octobrush, which has a big hitbox after it rolls, and L3D, which has burst bombs and highly benefits from the mobility buffs, it can be pretty useful. Drop Roller isn't a bad ability, it's just that Stealth Jump is on average a little bit better. The only other thing to note about both of these abilities is that they do work when landing from a beacon. You can Drop Roller, and if the beacon is destroyed, your Stealth Jump will still hide your marker. And that just leaves 1 ability left. It's time for Stats 2! Alright, so this is everything that Object Shredder affects and by how much. Baller, 130% extra damage. Bubble Blower, 130% extra damage. Splash Wall, 150% extra damage. Sponge Block, around 125% extra damage. Ink Rail, around 115% extra damage. Sprinkler, 1000% damage. Basically anything is going to break it. Squid Beacon, same as Sprinkler. Rainmaker Shield, 110% extra damage. Ink Armor, 300% extra damage. Almost anything is going to break it in one shot. Ink Armor when being attacked by Stingray, 125% extra damage. And lastly, Booyah Bomb Armor, 110% armor. Yes, it does not affect Brella Shields. I've had to tell people this for 3 years. Brella Shields count as part of a main weapon, and therefore not an object. So, there's a few situations in which Object Shredder can be useful. I can't list all of them for every main weapon because that would take forever, so here's most of the general ones. Stingray weapons in particular like it against Ink Armor since it makes it more reliable. It helps for bombs when breaking Ink Armor users that have 1 sub of bomb defense, as well as helping burst bombs break it more reliably. It's really good in Rainmaker, since high damage to the Rainmaker shield and helping bombs deal more damage to it is huge. It's great for suction bomb weapons as it makes it almost entirely break Baller in 1 hit. Bubble Blower and Splash Wall, it's very useful in dealing extra damage to you. And the last main instance is weapons that do under 30 damage allows it to break Ink Armor in 1 shot. So things like Junior and NZAP are very good with it. Object Shredder, while situational to the mode and weapons using it, is a really good ability. In the right situations, it helps enable a lot of weapons to deal with problems that would normally be big for them, especially for weapons that struggle at dealing with armor. So it's great that this ability exists, I'm a big fan of it, and it's great for the weapons that need it. But that's all the abilities. Be sure to let me know your thoughts below, and also let me know what abilities you would like to cover next. We have quite a few to go through in the non-stackables, as the only ones we've covered so far are Bomb Defense, Special Saver, Quick Super Jump, and Ink Resistance. So let me know which ones you guys would like to start with, and we'll get to it in part 5. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day.